After the hearing, my son, his wife, and their 3 lawyers succeeded in stripping everything from me. Every word Michael spoke that day remained seared into my memory. Standing before the judge with an iciness in his eyes I had never witnessed before. "You don't deserve anything, you selfish old woman." He delivered in a low, calculated tone, as though he'd been rehearsing those cruel words for months. Linda, his wife, stood beside him with crossed arms and a faint smirk that sent chills down my spine. The 3 lawyers shuffled their papers with evident satisfaction. They had won. I had lost everything. The house where I'd raised Michael, the savings accumulated through 30 years of relentless work, the bank account I'd carefully built for my final days. Everything. The judge signed the documents without meeting my eyes. I could only sit there on that hard, unforgiving chair, feeling my entire life crumble silently around me. I walked out of that courthouse with nowhere to go. Literally nowhere. I wandered for hours with my worn purse slung over my shoulder, each step taking me further from the woman I once was. Emily Hayes, 62 years old, widow mother, now reduced to nothing. That night, I slept on a park bench, not by choice, but because no other option existed. Now, 6 weeks later, here I am, crouched in a shadowy corner, rummaging through trash bins, searching for empty cans to sell. My hands tremble as I separate aluminum from plastic. I can't tell if it's from the early morning chill, the gnawing hunger I've endured for 3 days, or the overwhelming shame that burns to me every time someone passes by and deliberately looks away. I've been wearing these same clothes for 2 weeks. They reek of dampness, of the street, of defeat. I sleep in an abandoned doorway near the downtown square. Ironically, the same square where I used to take Michael when he was a little boy. Now I sleep just 2 blocks from the house that was mine, the house he stole from me. Sometimes I wonder how I arrived at this point. How did the boy I spoon-fed when he was sick become the man who left me on the street? How did everything I built collapse in a single hearing? But there's no purpose in asking those questions anymore. This is my reality. Me collecting cans to buy a piece of bread, me sleeping on cold pavement, me invisible to the world. I placed the cans in a torn bag I found days ago. It has a hole in the corner, but it serves its purpose. I walk slowly toward the recycling center, my feet aching with every step. The shoes I'm wearing are falling apart, and the rough pavement sends pain shooting through my soles. But I keep moving because it's the only thing I can do. Keep going. The man at the recycling center doesn't even glance at me when I hand over the cans. He counts them silently, hands me a few crumpled dollars, and waves his hand dismissively for me to leave. No thank you. No acknowledgement. To him, I'm just another destitute old woman collecting trash. Nothing special. Nothing important. I buy half a loaf of bread at the corner store. The woman at the counter looks at me with obvious pity, but says nothing. She places the bread in a thin plastic bag, and I leave quickly, unable to bear that look of silent compassion that makes me feel even smaller than I already do. I sit on a bench in the square, the same one where I slept that first night. I eat slowly, savoring every bite because I don't know when my next meal will come. The sun begins its descent, and the square fills with people returning from work. Families, couples, children running and laughing. They all have somewhere to go. Everyone except me. I close my eyes momentarily and take a deep breath. The cool evening air fills my lungs. I try to remember what my life was like before, waking up in my own bed, making coffee in my kitchen, sitting in my living room watching television. But those memories hurt. They hurt because they're no longer mine. Michael took all of that. He sleeps in my bed now. He drinks coffee in my kitchen. He lives the life that I built. And I'm here, left with nothing. I open my eyes when I hear approaching footsteps. A man is walking toward me, wearing a dark, impeccably pressed suit and carrying a leather folder under his arm. He stops directly in front of me and studies me with an expression I can't quite decipher. It's not pity. It's not disgust. It's something else, something like recognition. "Excuse me," he says, his voice firm yet kind. "Are you Emily Hayes?" My heart stops for a moment. No one has called me by my name in weeks. No one has looked me in the eye as if I were a real person. I stared at him without answering, confused and even frightened. Who is this man? What does he want from me? I nod slowly, uncertain what else to do. He takes a deep breath, as if preparing to deliver momentous news. He opens a folder and pulls out a white sealed envelope, extending it toward me carefully. Mrs. Hayes, my name is Daniel Wallace. I'm an attorney. I've been searching for you for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. He looks at me intently, then says something that makes my entire body freeze. Your brother passed away 2 months ago, and he left you something. A mansion valued at $3 million and a cash inheritance of $20 million. The world stops. I can't breathe. I can't think. $20 million. A mansion. My brother. The brother I hadn't spoken to in over 15 years. The brother who left and never returned. But there's a condition, the lawyer continues, his voice growing more serious. A very specific condition you must fulfill to receive the inheritance. And believe me, Mrs. Hayes, when I tell you that this condition is going to change everything. My hands tremble as I take the envelope. I open it slowly, with fear, with hope, with something I haven't felt in a very long time. Something like life returning. I pull out the letter inside. The handwriting is my brother's. I recognize it immediately. And as I begin to read, I feel something inside me, something I thought was dead, begin to awaken. That day was when everything started to change. Before everything fell apart, I had a simple life. Nothing fancy, nothing extraordinary, but it was mine. I had my house, my routine, my small moments of peace. I would wake every morning at 6, make coffee in the kitchen I knew by heart, and open the curtains to let the light stream in. That house wasn't large, but I had paid for it with my own labor, with years of effort and sacrifice. I lived there for 35 years, first with my husband David, until a heart attack took him when Michael was just 8 years old. After that, I was alone with my son, raising him, giving him everything I could. I worked as a secretary in an accounting office for 25 years. I didn't earn much, but it was sufficient. It was always enough because I knew how to manage money, how to make every dollar count. Michael grew up in that house. It's where he learned to walk, where he celebrated every birthday, where he studied for his exams. I watched him grow with pride. He was a good child, responsible, loving. Or so I thought. Perhaps a mother is always blind when it comes to her son. When Michael turned 30, he met Linda. She appeared at the house one day holding my son's hand, wearing a perfect smile and expensive clothes. Too expensive for someone who claimed to work in a clothing store. She told me she was a manager, but something in her eyes made me doubt. There was a coldness there, an ambition I couldn't quite name. At first, I tried to be kind. I tried to accept her. Michael seemed happy, and that's what mattered, right? But Linda started changing things, small things at first. Comments, suggestions. Emily, don't you think this house is too old for you being all alone? Emily, Michael is worried about your finances. Maybe you should let him help you. Emily, at your age, you should be resting, not working so hard. I didn't understand what she was implying. I thought she cared about me. How naive I was. A year after they met, they married. It was a small wedding in a rented hall. I paid for half of it. Michael asked me with that look I knew from his childhood, the one that melted my heart. Mom, just this once. I promise I'll pay you back. He never did, but at that moment, I didn't care. It was my son's wedding. My only son. After the wedding, everything changed rapidly. Linda convinced Michael they needed their own place. I agreed it was natural. Newlyweds need their space. But then the visits started. The serious conversations, the proposals. Mom, Linda, and I have been thinking. This house is too big for you. It has 3 bedrooms, and you only use 1. Wouldn't it be better to sell it and move into a smaller apartment? Something easier to maintain? I refused. That house was mine. It was all I had left of the life I built with David. It was where my memories lived. I wasn't going to sell it. So they started with another strategy, more subtle, more dangerous. Mom, at your age, you should have your papers in order. What would happen if you got sick? If you had an accident, you should give me power of attorney. just to protect you, to make sure everything is handled properly." He said it with such concern, with such apparent tenderness, that I almost believed him. Almost. But something inside me hesitated. Something warned me not to sign anything. So I said I'd think about it, that I needed time. That annoyed them. I saw it in Linda's face. That mask of kindness cracked for a moment, and I glimpsed what lay beneath: anger, impatience, pure ambition. But they didn't give up. They kept insisting, week after week, visit after visit, until one day Michael arrived with 3 men in suits. He said they were lawyers, that they were there to help me organize my finances, to protect my assets. "It's just a formality, Mom. We need you to sign some papers. It's for your own good." I was tired, so tired of fighting, so tired of feeling alone, so tired of being seen as an obstacle. So I signed. I signed without reading carefully. I signed trusting my son. I signed believing he would never hurt me. What a mistake. What a terrible, devastating mistake. 2 months later, I received a court summons. I didn't understand what it meant. I called Michael, confused and frightened. He told me not to worry, that he would take care of everything, that I just had to attend a hearing, and everything would be fine. But nothing was fine. The day of the hearing, I arrived alone. Michael was there, but not by my side. He was on the other side of the room with Linda, with the 3 lawyers. They looked at me as if I were a stranger, as if I were the enemy. The judge read the documents. He spoke of mental incompetence, of inability to manage my own finances, of clauses I had supposedly agreed to, clauses that transferred everything to Michael, my house, my savings, everything. I tried to speak. I tried to explain that I hadn't understood what I was signing, that they had deceived me, but my voice sounded weak, broken, and no one listened. No one believed me. The judge delivered the verdict. Everything was transferred to the name of Michael Hayes. I had 2 weeks to vacate the house, 2 weeks to disappear from my own life. I looked at my son, searching for something, some trace of the boy I raised, some sign of regret, of doubt, of humanity. But all I found was that cold, empty stare. And then he said it quietly but clearly: "You don't deserve anything, you selfish old woman." Linda smiled. The lawyers closed their briefcases. And I just sat there, feeling my world shatter into pieces. I left that courthouse with no direction. I walked for hours, not knowing where to go, having nowhere to go. I called a few friends, acquaintances, but everyone had excuses. Everyone was busy. Everyone disappeared when I needed them most. That night, I slept on a bench. And the next night, and the next, until I stopped counting the days, until the street became my only home. Now, 6 weeks later, I'm holding this letter in my trembling hands. The letter from my brother. The brother who left 15 years ago after a fight we never resolved. The brother who built a fortune while I struggled to survive. The brother who apparently never forgot me. And as I read his words, written in his own hand, I feel something I haven't felt in a long time. Something like hope, something like justice. Maybe, just maybe, this isn't over. The letter trembles in my hands. I can't stop staring at my brother's handwriting, that slanted, firm script I would recognize anywhere. It's been 15 years since we last spoke. 15 years since that absurd fight that tore us apart forever. Or so I thought. The lawyer, Daniel Wallace, sits beside me on the bench. He says nothing for a moment, simply watches as I read. The first line of the letter hits me like a physical blow. "Emily, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone, and it means they finally found you." My eyes fill with tears. I can't help it. My brother is dead. Mark, my younger brother, the boy I looked after when our parents worked late, the rebellious teenager who left home at 18, the man who made a fortune in real estate and never looked back. I continue reading. Every word is a blow. Every sentence a reminder of all we lost. I know we haven't spoken in years. I know I failed you. I know when you needed me most. I wasn't there, but I want you to know something. Emily, I never forgot you. Not for a single day. I followed your life from a distance. I knew when you were widowed. I knew when Michael grew up. I knew when you worked yourself to exhaustion to give that boy everything. And I also knew when that same boy betrayed you. I can't breathe. How did he know? How did he know what Michael did to me? I hired investigators 6 months ago. When I found out I was sick, when I knew I didn't have much time left, I needed to make sure you were okay. What I discovered enraged me. It broke my heart. My nephew, the son you raised alone, was planning to strip you of everything. And I couldn't do anything to stop him in time. Forgive me for that, sister. Forgive me for not acting sooner. The tears fall onto the paper. I don't care. I keep reading. That's why I left very specific instructions. I'm leaving you everything I have. The mansion on the outskirts of the city, $3 million in property, $20 million in cash and stocks. It's all yours, Emily. All of it. But there's a condition. A single condition you must meet to receive this inheritance. Here, the letter stops. I look at the lawyer, confused. He nods and pulls another document from his folder. The condition is here, Mrs. Hayes, he says in a serious voice. Your brother was very clear. You can receive the full inheritance. But first you must live in a mansion for 3 months, 90 days exactly, without leaving, without giving up. And during that time, you must gather documented evidence of everything your son did to you. Every paper signed, every deception, every lie. Your brother wanted you to have the tools to defend yourself, to reclaim what is yours, to prove the truth. I'm speechless. I can't process what I'm hearing. 3 months in a mansion, gathering evidence against Michael. For what? To confront him? To destroy him? I don't understand. I whisper, my voice hoarse and broken. Why would Mark want me to do this? Why not just give me the money? Daniel looks at me with something like compassion. Because your brother knew you, Mrs. Hayes. He knew you're not one for revenge. He knew you would forgive your son without a second thought. He knew that even after what he did, you would still protect him. That's why he set this condition. To force you to see the truth, to force you to face what happened, to give you the chance to get your dignity back. His words pierced through me. He's right. I would have forgiven Michael despite everything. Despite the nights on the street, despite the hunger, despite the humiliation. Because I'm his mother, and mothers forgive. They always forgive. But something inside me twists. Something dark. Something that's been growing during these 6 weeks of abandonment. Something that feels dangerously like rage. And if I refuse, I ask, if I don't want to meet the condition, Daniel sighs. Then the inheritance will be donated to charity. You will receive nothing. Your brother was very clear on that. 2, either you accept the conditions, or you give up everything. I look at the letter again. I look at my dirty hands, my broken nails, my clothes that reek of misery. I look at the bag of empty cans at my feet. I look at the bench where I've slept for weeks. And then I look at the lawyer. What if I discover there isn't enough evidence? What if the papers were destroyed? Your brother thought of that, Daniel replies. He hired a team of private investigators before he died. They've already gathered copies of documents, recordings, testimonies. It's all stored in a safe inside the mansion. You just have to review everything, organize it, understand it, and then decide what to do with that information. Decide what to do. Those words echo in my head. Mark has given me a choice, a chance, not just to get money back, not just to have a roof over my head. He's given me the chance to reclaim my voice, my truth, my justice. But I'm scared, a deep fear that paralyzes me. What if I can't do it? What if seeing all that evidence breaks me completely? What if facing Michael shatters what little is left of me? I don't know if I can, I admit in a low voice. I don't know if I'm strong enough. Daniel places a hand on my shoulder. It's a kind human gesture. It's been so long since anyone touched me with kindness that I almost start to cry. Mrs. Hayes, your brother wrote something else at the end of the letter. Something you should probably read now. He handed me another sheet, the last page. I read it with blurry eyes. Emily, if you're hesitating, if you're scared, I want you to remember something. You were the strongest person I ever knew. When Dad died, you were 16, and you took care of me like you were my mother. When Mom got sick, you worked during the day and cared for her at night without ever complaining. When your husband died, you got up and carried on for your son. That strength didn't disappear, sister. It's just asleep. It's time to wake it up. Not for revenge, not for hate, but for you, because you deserve it, because your own life is worth fighting for. It always was. I love you, Emily, and I'm sorry I never said it when I was alive. Now it's up to you to decide who you want to be, the woman who gives up or the woman who gets up one more time. I close my eyes. I take a deep breath. The cool evening air fills my lungs. I hear the sound of the square, children laughing, birds singing, life happening all around me, a life that I'm still a part of. Still, I open my eyes and look at Daniel. I accept, I say. My voice sounds firmer than I expected. I accept the condition. I'm going to do this. The lawyer smiles. It's a genuine, relieved smile. Then let's go, Mrs. Hayes. I'll take you to your new home. Well, your temporary home for now. He helps me up. My legs are shaky, but I steady myself. I pick up my bag of cans. Daniel gives me a strange look. You can leave that here, ma'am. No, I reply. This reminds me where I came from, of what I survived. I'm keeping it. We walk to a black car parked nearby. It's elegant, clean, the complete opposite of me. But when Daniel opens the door, he doesn't hesitate. He doesn't look at me with disgust. He just waits for me to get in. I sit in the back seat. It's soft, comfortable. It smells like new leather. I close my eyes for a moment and feel something inside me begin to shift. It's not hope yet. Not exactly. But it's something small, something that feels like possibility. The car starts and we drive away from the square, from the bench, from the cans, from the life I've lived for 6 weeks. I look out the window and see the city pass by. The streets I roamed looking for food, the corners where I slept, the places where I was invisible. I didn't know that decision would change everything. I whisper to myself. But deep down, I think I did. The car moves through streets I don't recognize. We leave the city center behind. The old buildings, the cracked sidewalks where I spent the last few weeks of my life. Now the landscape transforms. The houses are larger. The lawns are greener. The gates are taller. This is another world, a world I never belonged to. Daniel drives in silence. Now and then he glances at me in the rearview mirror, as if making sure I'm still there, that I haven't disappeared. I look out the window, feeling my heart beat faster and faster. I'm nervous, frightened. I don't know what to expect. After half an hour, the car turns onto a private street. There's a black iron gate with a sophisticated security system. Daniel enters a code, and the gate swings open slowly. We drive through, and then I see it. The mansion. It's enormous. 3 stories of light-colored stone with huge windows. It has a front garden with water fountains and perfectly manicured trees. The driveway is made of white cobblestones that gleam in the afternoon sun. Wide stairs lead up to the front door, a massive wooden door with intricate carved details. I can't believe this is real. I can't believe my brother lived here. The same Mark who grew up with me in a 2-bedroom house. The same boy who shared my room because there was no other space. Now this. All of this. Welcome to your temporary home, Mrs. Hayes. Daniel says as he stops the car in front of the stairs. I get out slowly. My legs can barely hold me. I look up at the windows, at the balconies. It's too much. Everything is too much. Did my brother live here alone? I ask. For the last 5 years, yes. Daniel replies. After his wife passed away, he never remarried. He had no children. This house was a sanctuary, his masterpiece. And now it's yours. We walk up the stairs together. Each step feels heavy. When we reach the door, Daniel takes out a set of keys and hands them to me. These are yours now. The front door, the study, the bedrooms, everything. I take the keys with trembling hands. They're heavy. They're real. This is real. I open the door and we step inside. The interior is even more impressive. The foyer is vast, with marble floors and a curved staircase leading to the second floor. There are paintings on the walls. Crystal chandeliers hang from the ceiling. Elegant furniture fills the space. Everything is immaculate, clean, as if someone still lives here. There's a housekeeper who comes twice a week to clean, Daniel explains. She'll continue to come during the 3 months. There's also a gardener and a cook, who can come if you request it. Everything is paid for. Everything is arranged. You just have to stay here and fulfill the condition. He shows me around the house. We pass through the main living room, huge, with leather sofas and a stone fireplace. Then the kitchen, modern, with appliances that look like they belong in a magazine. The dining room with a table for 12. The library filled with books from floor to ceiling. Your brother's study is on the second floor. Daniel says as we climb the stairs. That's where the safe is. That's where you'll find everything you need. My heart pounds harder with each step. We reach a long hallway with several doors. Daniel opens one at the end. It's a spacious study with windows overlooking the backyard. There's a dark wood desk, shelves with organized documents, and on the back wall, a built-in safe. The combination is in this envelope, Daniel says, handing me another sealed envelope. Inside, you'll find everything the investigators gathered, documents, recordings, photographs. Everything you need to understand what really happened, to understand how your son planned all of this. I take the envelope but don't open it. Not yet. I'm not ready. When do I have to start? I ask. Whenever you want. You have 3 full months, 90 days starting tomorrow. You can take the time you need to review everything, to process it, to decide what to do next. I nod silently. Daniel looks at me with something like concern. Mrs. Hayes, there's something else I need to tell you. What is it? Your son already knows about the inheritance. The world stops. My blood runs cold. What? Michael Hayes filed a lawsuit 3 days ago trying to contest a will. He claims his uncle was mentally incapacitated when he wrote it, that he was manipulated, that the inheritance should pass to the closest living relatives, meaning to him as his nephew. I can't breathe. Of course Michael would do this. Of course he would try to take this from me too. And can he do it? I ask, my voice shaky. Can he take the inheritance from me? No, Daniel replies firmly. Your brother's was ironclad. It was made with 3 lawyers present. There are medical evaluations proving Mark was completely lucid, and there are specific clauses that protect the inheritance against these types of lawsuits. But that doesn't mean your son won't try. In fact, we'll probably see him around here soon. My legs give out. I have to sit down. I sink into the desk chair and close my eyes. I can't do this, I whisper. I can't face him. I can't see him again. Yes, you can, Daniel says, his voice soft but firm. And you will, because this time you're not alone. This time you have resources. You have legal backing. You have the truth on your side. And you have something your son will never have. What's that? Integrity. I open my eyes and look at him. He holds my gaze. Your brother told me a lot about you before he died, Mrs. Hayes. He told me you were the most honest person he had ever known, that you never took shortcuts, that you always did the right thing, even when it cost you. That's why he trusted you. That's why he left you all this, because he knew you would use it well, that you wouldn't be corrupted, that you would remain who you are. His words hit me deep. I feel tears threatening to spill again, but I hold them back. I've cried enough. It's time to be strong. What do I have to do now? I ask. Rest today. Take a bath. Eat something. Sleep in a real bed. Tomorrow, you can start reviewing the documents. I'll be back the day after tomorrow to see how everything is going. In the meantime, here's my card. You can call me any time if you need anything. Anything at all. He hands me his card. I take it and put it in my pocket. Daniel says goodbye with a handshake and leaves. I hear his footsteps going down the stairs. I hear the front door close. I hear the car driving away. And then I'm alone. Alone in this enormous house. Alone with my thoughts. Alone with this opportunity I'm still not sure I deserve. I get up slowly and walk around the study. I touch the books on the shelves. I look at the photographs on the walls. There's one of Mark when he was young, smiling. He looks so much like the boy I remember. And there's another of the 2 of us together when we were teenagers. I didn't remember that photo existed. We look happy, united. We were family. What happened? How did we drift so far apart? I sit at the desk again and look at the safe. It's all in there. The whole truth about what Michael did to me. All the evidence I need. I just have to open that envelope, enter the combination, see what's inside. But I can't. Not yet. First, I need to recover. I need to feel human again. I leave the study and explore the rest of the second floor. I find several bedrooms, all furnished, clean, ready. I choose one at the end of the hall, with large windows overlooking the garden. The bed is huge, with white sheets that look like clouds. I go into the connected bathroom. It's bigger than the room where I used to sleep in my old house. There's a deep tub, a glass-doored shower, mirrors everywhere. I turn on the shower and let the water run. Hot steam fills the bathroom. I take off my dirty clothes, the clothes I've been wearing for weeks. I look at them on the floor and feel disgusted. Disgusted by what they represent, disgusted by what I lived through. I step into the shower, and the hot water hits me like a blessing. I cry. I finally let myself cry. I cry for everything I lost, for everything I suffered, for all the nights on the street, for the hunger, for the loneliness, for the betrayal. I cry until there are no tears left. Then I wash. I scrub my skin until it hurts. I wash my hair 3 times. I want to remove every trace of those weeks. I want to feel clean again. I want to feel like myself again. When I get out of the shower, I find soft towels hanging on silver hooks. I wrap one around myself and look in the mirror. I barely recognize myself. I'm thinner, older. There are new wrinkles around my eyes. But there's something else too, something in my gaze, something that wasn't there before. Determination. I go down to the kitchen wrapped in the towel. I open the refrigerator and find food, fresh bread, cheese, fruit, ham. My stomach growls loudly. I make a huge sandwich and eat it standing right there, almost without chewing. It's delicious. It's the best thing I've eaten in my life. Then I go upstairs again and get into bed. The sheets are soft. The mattress is firm but comfortable. I close my eyes, and for the first time in 6 weeks, I really sleep. I sleep without fear, without cold, without hunger. I sleep like a person. And when I wake hours later with the moonlight streaming through the window, I know what I have to do. I know that tomorrow I'm going to open that safe. I'm going to see what's inside. I'm going to face the truth. Because my brother was right. It's time to wake up the strength that's sleeping inside me. It's time to fight for my life. And this time, I'm not going to lose. The next morning, I wake with the sun streaming through the window. For a moment, I don't know where I am. I look at the high ceiling, the elegant curtains, the crystal chandelier. Then I remember the mansion, the inheritance, my brother. It's all real. I get up slowly. My body still aches, but it's a different kind of pain. It's not the pain of sleeping on the ground. It's the pain of a body that's healing. I go down to the kitchen and make coffee. The aroma fills the house, and for a moment, I feel at peace. But that peace doesn't last long, because I know what I have to do today. I have to open the safe. I have to see the truth. I go up to the study with a cup of coffee in my hand. I sit at the desk and take out the envelope Daniel gave me. I open it and find a piece of paper with a combination. 6 numbers written in my brother's hand. I walk to the safe and dial the numbers. I hear a click. The door opens. Inside are folders, many folders, all labeled with dates, with names. I take out the first one and open on the desk. They're copies of the documents I signed, the same ones they made me sign that day when the lawyers came to my house. I read slowly, and then I see it. The hidden clauses, the fine print, everything I didn't read, everything I didn't understand. There it is, in black and white. I signed over the deed to my house. I signed over access to my bank accounts. I signed my own destruction. But it wasn't my fault. The words were written confusingly. The legal terms were impossible to understand. They tricked me. They manipulated me. And I, trusting my son, fell into the trap. I opened the second folder. It's photographs. Michael meeting with the lawyers months before the hearing. Michael and Linda at an expensive restaurant, celebrating. The date on the photo is 2 days after I signed the papers. They're smiling, toasting with glasses of wine, celebrating my downfall. My hands are shaking. I keep looking. There's more. Audio recordings on a small device. I plug it into the desk computer and listen. It's Michael's voice on the phone with one of the lawyers. It has to look legal. My mother can't suspect anything. I need the documents to be confusing but valid. She'll sign. She always does what I ask. The voice cuts through me. It's my son planning this. My son talking about me as if I were an obstacle, as if I were a problem to be solved. There are more recordings. In one of them, I hear Linda's voice. That old woman has too much for someone who does nothing. That house should be ours. That money should be ours. It's time she understood that her time is over. I close my eyes. I take a deep breath. The pain is physical, like being stabbed in the chest over and over again. I keep going through the folders. There are reports from private investigators. Details of how Michael sought out unscrupulous lawyers, how he paid for false evaluations of my supposed mental incapacity, how he bribed witnesses to say I was confused, that I forgot things, that I couldn't take care of myself.